You're listening to the Modern Mainframe, BMC's Intelligent Z Optimization and Transformation podcast, covering the latest trends and issues on the mainframe and how BMC AIME and BMC CompuWare Solutions can help you build a mainframe-inclusive DevOps toolchain. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Modern Mainframe. I'm Matt Dallaire. Today's episode is the first in a three-part series on the current state and future of mainframe modernization and DevOps. Joining me today are a couple of special guests, April Hickel, BMC Vice President of Intelligent Z Strategy, and John McKenny, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Intelligent Z Optimization and Transformation. April, John, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Matt. It's great to be here with you.
Yes, Matt, great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, so let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about how organizations are optimizing and transforming on the mainframe, how they're measuring their progress, and what's coming in mainframe DevOps. So, John, I'll start with you. The 2020 BMC Mainframe Survey found that 90% of respondents see the mainframe as a platform for growth and long-term applications, with 48% listing mainframe modernization as a top priority. When you talk to customers, where do you get a sense most of them are in their mainframe transformation?
Thanks, Matt. Most customers are on the continuous modernization journey. We all know the mainframe platform has been around for quite some time. And the truth of the matter is, customers have always been innovating and evolving how they develop and manage and operate the platform. And we just see that continuing today. I think what's different maybe in the last 18 to 24 months is there's probably a more renewed interest than ever in taking advantage of all of the great innovation that continues to occur on the platform to enable them to really deliver on the needs of their business, right? To bring applications and new services to market more quickly. And they see the mainframe environment as one that can be and should be a strategic enabler of that. And all that requires is they continue to keep their applications and their infrastructures up to date and taking advantage of the latest technology that BMC and others make available.
April, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think I would add that the market and consumers and people who are looking for services are more demanding than ever. So change, your need that we see within customers to react more quickly, to respond to their consumers, to change their services is affecting all of the infrastructure that a customer has, with the mainframe being a critical part of that.
And April, from people you've spoken with, as organizations move through the process, how are they measuring their success?
Well, I think a lot of them are measuring their success with the amount of automation that they have in place. So the faster you want to move or the more efficient you want to become, I see customers, especially in the space of application development, really looking for how can I automate as part of my efforts to develop faster and to respond faster. So I think automation is a big one for them. And then I think customer engagement and adoption is a big one for them.
John, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would just add, as April said, I think a lot of it is around application modernization. We're all consumers, right? And so we all enjoy the benefits of, new and innovative capabilities to engage with a variety of businesses that we work with on a daily basis. And so, our clients want to be able to deliver those, exciting, really engaging applications. And, the role that the mainframe can play in that is absolutely enabler of that. So, we see clients that are really trying to stretch so that they can develop as fast on the mainframe environment as they can in the cloud. We're seeing clients that, as April said, are wanting to be able to automate how they're managing not only their CI/CD pipelines, but how they really manage security and the entire infrastructure so that they can do it in the most efficient way, and they can do it so that it can really handle what we're seeing more than ever is just the incredible dynamic range of the transaction demand. So one thing all customers talk about that's been very different in the last 12 months with the pandemic is just the unpredictable nature of the demands on their business. Spikes are coming in places that they would have never seen them before. So the ability to be able to handle that surging demand at a moment's notice and to be able to do it reliably, consistently with great performance is one of the great assets that the mainframe has long enabled customers to benefit from.
And I would add that the face of the mainframe, the way people are interacting with the mainframe is much different. I just think about my own habits in banking and how they have evolved. And then I watch my teenagers who are using all sorts of payment platforms. I pay my daughter's rent using one. I deal with my son on another. And that's all back-ended by a mainframe platform, very high volume transactional platform. It just shows how much innovation is going into the consumer experience, which is driving a completely different workload pattern on the back end. In the mainframe application development space, you have to be prepared to very quickly pivot to respond to consumer demands in those new digital experiences.
So, John, DevOps is a key part of mainframe modernization efforts. What do you see changing in DevOps, and what is the future of DevOps on the mainframe?
Well, I think in terms of the future, what I see is more and more adoption of DevOps on the platform. I think we're seeing a number of customers who have adopted the DevOps approach over the last 2 years. And now you see more customers aware that it can be done. And more importantly, they're hearing about the benefits that those early adopters are seeing. And everyone that's familiar with DevOps knows what those benefits are. They're seeing, increased velocity of their application workloads. They're seeing improved product quality. Those are just some of the two major benefits, right? Faster time to market, better quality. So what we see is DevOps is a journey, right? Anyone that's on it knows that you're never done. It's all about always trying to drive more automation into your development process. So one of the things that's new with some of the early adopters is an increasing focus on continuing to shift left to get more automation done earlier in the development process. So, the faster you can find and fix bugs, the cheaper it is for you to roll out those applications into the market. So it's an exciting space, and we believe there will continue to be increasing adoption for all the reasons we talked about. Every business wants to deliver new capabilities faster than ever before, and DevOps is the way to do that.
Right.
And I would add to that in addition to what John shared, customers are integrating more and more things into this automated pipeline. So they're thinking about how do we get security in there so that we know that we're not releasing code with vulnerabilities? How do we bring operations into this continuous feedback cycle? So, it's the acceleration of adoption that John talked about, married with really embracing the entire ecosystem of possible integrations, whether the operational integrations, or they're the ops and DevOps, whether they're the security integration, so maybe SecDevOps. But they're building more and more, and these are not pipelines or automation systems which are limited to a single vendor. It's an ecosystem of many different vendors which make up their automation.
Right. And we've seen many integrations lately with tools like SonarQube, Jenkins, GitHub, and others that help people set up these pipelines.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the key parts of our strategy is really to enable developers to use their preferred DevOps tools to integrate them together and to make all of those a possibility for the mainframe. We have recently introduced VS Code integration. So Microsoft
Right.
VS Code is a big part of the DevOps ecosystem, and we have heard from developers that they want, if they're using Git and VS Code, they want to be able to easily compile their code on the mainframe. So we feel like enabling those developers, integrating with VS Code, integrating with Git provides the choice that the DevOps community really wants.
And John, I had a question about exactly the subject. We've already started covering it. Can you talk a little bit about the recent innovations that we've introduced at BMC with our mainframe portfolio?
Well, we could spend 3 or 4 episodes talking about just what we've delivered in the last 3 quarters, Matt. But April touched on a number of the things that we're doing in the DevOps space, and they really kind of echo what we're doing across the portfolio. So a big part of it is about just, having an open borders approach, right? Integrating with a variety of products and tool sets. So whether you're talking about your operations management, or your security management or DevOps, the BMC portfolio supports, integration with the tools that you're working with. And then the other thing I would add is, we continue to drive, higher and higher levels and use of, AI and machine learning. That is a cornerstone of the new capabilities that are in our BMC AIME Ops portfolio. And as April was saying a moment ago, we're looking at some pretty exciting integration to bring together stronger connections and integration points between the dev and the ops side. And we think the strength of what we've recently delivered and what's coming out from our BMC AIME products and our BMC Compuware products will provide tremendous value to our clients.
Yeah, and I'd just like to put an exclamation point on something that John said, and it's about our open borders. And if I think about what we've done recently, one of the things that we've done is we've recognized that customers have a desire to easily automate the setup of their test data in development, in QA. And, sometimes, when the mainframe is involved, this means they have to connect, they have to extract, they have to load, they have to compare, they have to do all of these things. So exposing this through an API and enabling customers to easily do this is one of the ways that we're addressing automation, open borders through APIs, as John pointed out.
Well, speaking of APIs and open borders, didn't the recent integration with Compuware, which resulted in the BMC Compuware portfolio, kind of grow out of past integration between products like BMC AIME Ops and Compuware Strobe?
Well, I think actually, Matt, our integration of the Compuware portfolio grew less out of our technical integrations like that. But I would say, in my view, the evolution of the BMC and Compuware relationship and bringing our portfolios together is driven by the recognition that development and operations are intertwined at customers. So you're building software, you're releasing new services, you're spending a lot of time thinking about how to grow your business, and that results in bringing to market new ways of doing things, improving services you have. And then as that product comes to market, your world is all about making sure the user experience and the customer experience and the availability and performance of that service meet the market demand. And so when you bring those two portfolios together in service of helping a customer transform and grow and manage their digital services, this is really where a customer can achieve a lot of value.
Well, thanks for that perspective. I think that's a good spot to end today's episode. So thank you, John and April, for joining us today. This has been a great discussion, and we're only just getting started. We'll continue the conversation in our next episode, where we'll talk about how organizations are including the mainframe in their DevOps journeys, some of the challenges they're facing, and the benefits provided by Mainframe DevOps. So to everyone listening, thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us for part 2. And until next time, take care. You're listening to The Modern Mainframe, BMC's Intelligent Z Optimization and Transformation podcast, covering the latest trends and issues on the mainframe and how BMC AIME and BMC Compuware solutions can help you build a mainframe-inclusive DevOps toolchain.